Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and I'm so glad you're here. I know it's a loss. I'm not happy about it. I'm actually pretty annoyed, but it was entertaining. I've got good news though. Even though we lost, I've got some awesome guests coming onto the show. Canucks Uncensored is joining me, so don't turn that dial or click off the video. Whatever we do in internet land. We're going to go into the promo, not promo, intro, and then we're going to get right into it. Can't wait to interview these guys. Welcome to the channel, boys. Hey. Canucks Uncensored is in the building. Witten and Jordan is here, live in the flesh. Welcome, guys. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Could be better, you know.
Well, we wish the Canucks would have won, but thank you so much for having us on, RevTrev. We really appreciate this.
No problem. No problem. Let's dive into this group therapy session tonight.
Yeah, totally.
Right? We need some therapy. That's why the Canuck fans are here tonight. Yeah. We know the numbers get down when we lose. I always tell people, just join it. You need to talk it through. We need to have a conversation. We need to lay down and talk about our Canucks. And so that's what we're doing this evening. I'm so glad to have you guys on. I've been following your content for a little while now, and I just want to give you guys a big shout out. You're doing a great job, and I encourage everyone here to follow you guys on your stuff. Give us a second. Just promo your stuff, guys, and we'll get into the game.
Oh, sure. I mean, well, thanks a lot for that. We didn't expect that, but yeah, check us out. We are the somewhat newer kids on the block, I guess. What we just put up our YouTube channel, and also we're on Instagram and TikTok. We're putting out shorts somewhat regularly. We're not as dedicated or regular as Rev here, but we're doing what we can. The reason why we did it, Whit, is you will agree with me, is we just wanted to. We love to talk about the Canucks. It's our favorite thing in the world, or one of our favorite things in the world. And what better than to want to talk about the things that you're passionate about? And we found a little bit of an outlet to be able to do that. We pride ourselves on just saying what we feel, saying what we want about the team. I mean, that's what YouTube is, right? And that's what social media is. Just being able to voice your opinion and have your voice and opinion heard. And we're really loving the opportunity.
Right. The opportunity to be able to share and say what's on our minds. That's the most important about any type of Canucks talk. People like to hear opinions. I know that whenever there's like a Canuck trade or some sort of signing, right? Like the Canuck fans will look and hear as many different opinions. I am the same. And I think that, the world could always hear more voices, and that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, it's great having you guys a part of the Canuck content universe, and I'm enjoying it. So let's get into it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off, as you like to say, Jordan. It was 3-0 Canucks. Now, let's be honest, 2 empty net goals. So I know they count, but I'm just saying it's a 1-0 victory. Yeah. And for me, you guys tell me how you're feeling, but I felt like it was a really entertaining game, especially for a game where we get shut out. I was quite entertained overall as a fan. And the amount of hits was incredible. I love the battle between these two teams. How did you guys feel about the game overall? And we'll dive into some players and some situations in a second.
You want to start off with?
Yeah, I think the stat that jumped out, at least the last time I checked, we had 45 hits in this game.
Crazy.
Like Sherwood probably had like half of them. Insane, right? Like I said, like you said, it's a 1-0 game. Anything could have happened, right? And just didn't go our way this time. We outshot them. We pretty much lost only 2 categories against them. I think the faceoffs and the score. We did everything else better than the other team. Just couldn't pull out the W, and you're gonna have these games sometimes.
It's insane, hey? 51 hits for the Vancouver Canucks to their 21. And I'm just going to look it up right now. I got to know how many Sherwood had. Absolutely.
Right. I'm going to guess like 9. That's right. Dude, he
had 6. Okay. And Philip Di Giuseppe had 9.
Oh,
okay. Well, Pizza, he's got to do what he needs to do to stay in the lineup, and that's one of the things. Right.
Yeah. Well, Joshua had 5. DeBrusk had 5. I mean, there were some big hits going on tonight. That was super exciting.
Well, it's good to see. It's good to see that they're still hitting in the NHL.
Right?
Yeah.
Desharnais had 4. Juleson had 5. Susie had 5. That's a monster night. That's a monster night. That made it more entertaining. And the effort was there, just couldn't bury it behind Saros. I don't know about you guys, but he is so good. He is so good. He's so solid. And you know what's so frustrating? Is he's always in the right spot. It's like, can you please not play perfect hockey against us? So
when we were watching, I was saying to Whit, this feels like the playoff game from last year.
It did,
right? It was like this is the Predators that we saw in the playoffs last year. Saros shutting it down, stifling defense. We're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at these guys. Can't score a goal. I can't remember what game it was, maybe like game 2 or 3 or somewhere in the middle of the series where they were just coming out and stifling the Canucks. And you could tell that they're missing Petey. You can tell that they're missing their key players today. And you could tell it was a back-to-back. But, we saw the effort. I don't know if you noticed, Tyler Myers was trying to beat Quinn Hughes at the end of the game there.
Don't get me started. Okay, I'm gonna start an old red eye root beer from the United States of America. It even like foamed, like smoked. So I tried the brownie caramel cream yesterday.
Okay.
That was good. I usually only drink a pop when we win, but because you guys are on, I'm celebrating. I'm gonna try it. It's first time ever.
I'll have a beverage with you.
There you go.
Well, cheers to this, Trev. Well, thanks again for having us on.
Beer.
What else did you feel about the game today?
Well, okay, I want to jump into the comment you made, and I like the comment. Is back-to-back, is that a legitimate excuse to lose a game?
Well, okay, since I say it, I'll okay. It's not a huge excuse. It's not I would say it's somewhat legitimate. People in the media guys always say, hey, they're back-to-back, they're going to be tired. So, I mean, sure, they were playing in Seattle last night, and of course, Canucks have won back-to-backs before. But there is always going to be a little bit of fatigue factor in hockey. Of course, it's a grueling, tough sport. I'm not saying that I'm giving them a pass because it's back-to-back. I'm just saying it's one of the factors that came into their effort today.
Yeah. No, and when not too long ago when we were losing games, right? Not too long ago, this was one of our moral victories. We lose a back-to-back, and then we'd always say like, "Hey, we put in the effort and we just came up short." It's one of those.
Totally, Trev. We're Canucks fans. We're trying to grasp at any straws that we can.
No, I'm sitting here. I'm just trying to be therapeutic. I understand it's a reason. I am with you guys. I don't think it's an excuse.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, pee-wee hockey, whatever you are, you always got to play back-to-back since you play 3 games on a weekend. Now you're not playing against the level of competition like you are now.
No.
Yeah.
I was impressed that there was only a couple lulls in this game.
Yes.
And what I also was impressed on was we outshot them because we have traditionally this year been outshot by everybody.
Yeah.
So on a back-to-back game where we out-hit and we outshoot, it's like, you know what? We just got goalied. That's at the end of the day. That's going to be like if you needed a 1-sentence statement from me or from us, it's like we got goalied. It's Saros. The Saros show was amazing. He had an amazing shutout, and congrats to him. But I don't feel like we got outplayed. We just got goalied.
Absolutely not. I mean, yeah, think about it. I was saying during the game. This is a goalie battle. It was the battle of the Predator goalies from last season. Yes. Lankinen comes in and he's like, you know what? I'm going to show you that I was better than you. I should have started the playoffs last year. Unfortunately, he got a goal against and he wasn't able to, but he lost. But one goal, though. One goal.
That's all it took, unfortunately.
Stamkos slap shot, right?
Yeah.
I know what is with Stamkos like as a Canuck killer. Like, are you kidding me?
There's so many
Every single stinking time he plays us, it's like he turns into like Stammer, who scored 50 goals in a year. It's like he's at the tail end of his career, can't score anymore like he used to, and then every time he comes to Vancouver, it's like plays against Vancouver. It's like, are you kidding me? Anyways,
well, in Canucks past, there has been a lot of players who do that, isn't it?
They say there's a lot of Canuck killers. He's one of them.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and why is it us? No,
why is it always us making this?
It never happens to anyone else. No.
Yes.
Well, guys, I know that you're going to have positive thoughts on this guy, but what were your thoughts about Dakota Joshua tonight? Let me know what you were thinking. Tell me your thoughts on Big Joshua.
I think it was a monster on the boards, just moving out there like this. You can't move him, and you give him a little bit more time. I think he's gonna round into form. You can see it. He already scored that nice goal. What, like 3-4 games back? The hands are coming back. I think it's just got to get his feet going. He's almost there, I think.
Yeah, it feels like that, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was when we're watching him fight, man, he was dropping the gloves. He can throw. He was throwing the mitts. That's a guy who's back. Okay, that's a guy who's back from testicular cancer, man. That's a guy who's recovered and ready to go. Yeah. Right? Like he comes back from that kind of injury and sickness, and he's dropping the gloves like that. Woo! Mass props. So that's a guy who's dedicated. He's showing his dedication right now, and he's showing he's ready to be back to where he was last season.
Yeah, and that is a really positive thing, because I felt like last game was his best game of the year.
Yep.
And then he bounces back with a second game, back-to-back games. And I'm like, you know what? That's what we need. We're missing the bottom end play. Joshua's not played well this year. Hoaglander's not played well this year. And just so you take those things away, who's jumping into there? Sherwood's been one of those guys who's jumped in, but he can't take the spot of two guys. That's the thing. It's like, so Heinen has been okay. He's had some great games and a lot of mediocre, and some solid games too, but not like get on the score sheet kind of thing, right? So that's the thing I loved about watching Dakota Joshua play tonight, is like, that's the kind of guy we need to be seen on the ice. That's his style of play. And when he's running like that, he creates opportunities for other people. So it's a lot of fun watching him. Okay, now I know you guys wanted to talk about the defense, so I want to be proactive, okay? Yeah. And I'm not going to rant. I'm going to actually say some positive things, okay? So Desharnais, I was impressed with him tonight. It's the first game where I was like, you know what? It makes sense why we got him. He was throwing his body around. I was impressed. So I know that he's not the best. He never claims to be the best. But what were your guys' thoughts on Desharnais overall tonight? And what do you think about him as a Canuck and Canucks bringing him on?
Can I start this time?
You can start.
Okay.
I got you.
When they brought this guy in, for $2 million, I was like, holy cow, he better be able to do something. Okay. And you've heard it on our content. I've been all over him this season already. He has been showing that he's doing absolutely nothing. And the guy, he can't even skate. When I watch him skate, he looks like he was skating molasses. Okay. If there's one guy that I have been really hard on this year, it's him, other than Petey. But okay, what I'll say today, Rev, is I didn't notice him bumbling or doing anything bad, but I did notice him trying to make stuff happen. Yep. Throwing his body to block a shot, even though it went in to get a goal, but that's what you need a guy his size to be doing. So I was noticing him more positively today than I normally do, noticing me negatively. So you're right. He did step up his game today, and I'm really glad to see that because our defense needs it.
Like I think this was probably one of the few times where we get scored on and he is on the ice and I don't complain.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
I think the first thing I said today, actually, after we got scored on, I'm like, look at that effort to try to block that Stamkos shot.
100%.
That's what I was saying. The big guy just sliding out, trying to just misses it, right?
Yeah.
It literally just an inch, just missed it.
So
So I did notice that too. It was like I said, actually the first time that I didn't curse at him for being on the ice for a goal.
This is the most I not have said much about Desharnais tonight. So it says something.
Yeah, and his physicality was noticeable this evening as well. He didn't do stupid things in the corners.
Yeah.
Every once in a while he throws kind of a crazy pass.
Yeah.
But I felt like tonight I was impressed by his effort. And I do hope that keeps up. Look, guys, he played over 22 minutes tonight. That is insane. That is insane. He was literally
it is insane.
He was the second most played defenseman on the Vancouver Canucks this evening, behind everyone's favorite Tyler Myers, 22-44 he played tonight. So
Desharnais played more than Soucy?
When Desharnais and Myers are your top minute defensemen, that is saying something, man. But hey,
and we only lost 1-0.
I didn't realize that Myers was on that much.
I'm telling you, this is great for Desharnais, not good for the Canucks. This is really great for Desharnais.
Great for the two of them.
Probably the guy to be able to play that many minutes and look good, right? Just for his role, right? But
imagine if they won.
Yeah, what would we be saying if they won? I know there's people mad in the chat. I mean, Adam Lee's sick of laughing. Okay, so he's sick of laughing, and there's where is it? There's somebody else here. He's always angry. Is it Del? No. So, anyways, I'll find it later. But guys, I understand. I want to win as much as anyone else. I know we can't win them all. I just feel like we're at that stage where we're just in survival mode. And tonight, it felt very evident, not only that Hughes wasn't there, but I felt very evident that Pettersson wasn't there. And I've said a lot of nice things and negative things about Pettersson over the years, but there is something to be said to have a guy who has offensive upside, also comes back and checks guys. I think that's really good. His defensive play. I felt like tonight was that first night where I'm like, we're really missing Pettersson in this game. It would have been nice to have him out there. What were you guys' thoughts about that, or am I just kind of out to lunch?
I noticed it from the game, especially. I don't know if you noticed the last 3 minutes of the game where JT Miller was on the ice. He would make a pass, but then he wouldn't be able to get open, nor would other people put it on his tape for a one-timer or something. Like, he would just make the pass and he wouldn't have anybody. But if he had Petey, he might have gotten a little bit more space and somebody else could have either taken a shot from his pass or he would have been found for a shot. I just felt like he didn't have anything else that he could have done out there at the end there.
Absolutely. Some people are upset in the chat that we're being positive. It's like, okay, I don't really know what you guys want us to say. It's not like we lost 10-0 here, guys. We outshot them, we outhit them. There was many times where we outplayed them. We literally got goalied. That happens in the universe, everyone. And yes, Adam Lee, we can't win them all. I know. I don't even suggest that we would go win all 82 games in a season. But Jorg is in here, and he thought that JT Miller sucked tonight. What did you guys think about my man, JT Miller?
JT, I mean, he like Whit was saying, he couldn't seem to get something done tonight. I'll be honest, I didn't really notice him, and I saw maybe a few shots on net from him, but he was pretty much, I wouldn't say invisible. He was there a few times, but he stepped up last game, so I don't know. I didn't really notice him. I can tell that he's missing Petey. We're going back to Petey. PD
Imagine
likes
that.
to.
Miller missing Petey. Anyways,
Storyline.
JT wasn't there tonight, Trev. What can we say?
I don't know, man. I felt like JT Miller was the best Canuck on the ice for Vancouver. I think Joshua had a good game. He had a good game for himself. I don't feel like offensively Joshua was great. I didn't think Garland was great offensively. I didn't think Brock Besser was great offensively. Like offensively, Miller had the one partial break and he hit the blocker. He deked around the other guy, had the backhander. There was a number of times where I'm like, he was noticeable for me. I was thinking, man, if we didn't missing Petey and then not having Hughes, and then if we didn't have Miller, it would have been ugly tonight, in my opinion. There
100%.
were a couple times where he kind of wasn't there, like what, not just invisible, but not really trying. It was like, hey, bro, you just work a little bit harder right in that moment, and you got that puck. Usually we see that from him. I think that was where the back-to-back spot came. But I was just like, we need him to step up, and we needed him to score tonight, or at least create something for scoring, and that didn't happen. So that was unfortunate. But I thought he played really well. I'm trying not to be biased here. That's for me, he was the most noticeable.
Where was he in shots for the Canucks? If we look at the stats.
Yeah, how many shots did JT have tonight?
Yeah, how many shots did JT?
Oh, about 100. I don't know. No, he had 4 shots tonight. Sherwood had 5, so he was the second. Okay. He was second in shots tonight.
Okay.
What about Sasson?
So yeah,
how many shots did Sasson get?
He was noticeable.
Very noticeable
for me.
He was. Sasson is 2 shots.
2 shots. Okay, well, we heard about them.
The only 2 you saw.
We heard Shorty say Sasson making stuff happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he's been a real nice addition, kind of finding his way. I know there's a lot of guys trying to get that spot. You know, Almon wants that spot.
Baines wants that spot too.
Yeah, Baines wants that spot there. There's Ratu wants that spot.
Ratu wants it.
So he's got to play well or he's going back down. By the way, everyone, 141 people in here tonight. Hit the like and subscribe. And just a reminder, hit a like and subscribe to Canucks Uncensored. These 2 guys are doing a great job out there. So make sure you do that as well. So, so I think Sasson's is a good player, good guy to watch, good guy to be a part of there. There's a lot of controversy in Vancouver. I don't know if you guys have followed this or not, but
you heard?
But I'm going to say a couple more suggestions here of players I want to talk about the game. Then what we'll do is I want to ask you guys a couple questions about your own fandom and about the channel. And then I want to dive into some questions. So, chat, you can start putting your questions in for these guys regarding the Canucks. We're happy to answer those. But here's a guy that I feel like nobody's talking about enough, and it's Blueger. And I think he's had a solid year all year. That for me, it was money well spent. Not just tonight, but, man, I have really been impressed with him into last season and into this season. But what do you guys think? Because it's like, where do you put him? Do you put him as the 3rd line guy? You put him as the 4th line guy? But what are you guys' thoughts been about Big Teddy?
I think he's been that glue guy. If you want to make a 3rd line around him, put Joshua and Garland on there. If you want to make another 3rd line, then put Sherwood out there with him. Right? Like and Heinen, that line worked for a bit too.
At least he basically can play with anybody.
Play with anybody, and he's almost always the least offensive guy on the team, but for some reason he helps keep everything together. That's what it seems like to me.
Blueger, for me, can always rely on him to make something happen. Whenever he's out there, he'll make something happen. He'll get a scoring chance. He'll set someone up, right? But we don't expect him to score. I mean, last season, he scored a lot more. I'm noticing he's not putting the puck in the net. He put the puck in the net tonight. Too bad it didn't count.
Right.
But, I'm wondering, and Whitney and I have talked about this on our podcast, why isn't the Garland, Blueger, and Dakota line back together? I mean, they were so good last year. Dakota's back.
They had him in spurts this season.
Yeah, they haven't had any time together. And Garland is playing really well right now. Why haven't they put this line back together?
So it's all about the right wingers, right? So so Besser, Garland, Sherwood, and who's the fourth guy? It would be like Heinen or something.
We just have a slew of right wingers. Is that one?
I think that's what it comes down to is we have like basically three of them and one guy who's on the fourth line who's a left winger plays right. So Höglander can play right or left. Heinen can play right or left. And so am I missing? I feel like I'm missing someone. Di Giuseppe, I think, only plays left.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good question. Like, we're not missing anyone, are we? Like, I'm just thinking, like with Pettersson, that doesn't mean he's the centerman.
Well, Suter can play both wing and center. That's the one, right?
Yeah.
You know, if we have an excess of wingers, sure, but it just would make sense. Hey, they had a lot of success last year.
I agree.
So where is it?
I don't know. I'm going to talk it and say, hey, we were talking, and you should do a better job. Okay. All right, let's go into some promo. I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and then we're going to get into the questions from the chat. So appreciate everyone being here. You guys and girls are awesome. We love Canuck Nation. You guys and girls are amazing, and this is why we do it. It's not just so we can see our faces on the screen. We really want to hear from you, and so we appreciate you. So let's hit the promo, and we'll get into the questions. All right, so I want to ask you guys, who are your favorite Canucks of all time, and why you fell in love with this team? I want to know. I want to know the moments, the things that just made you guys like, I'm a fan now.
Should we say it at the same time?
All right,
3, 2, 1. Pavel Bure.
Pavel Bure.
Same.
Yep.
There we go. The Russian Rocket, man. That guy was amazing. So what are some moments about Pavel Bure that just like sold you on him?
Go first. All right. Okay. So for me, being in kindergarten and seeing somebody receive a pass and skating super fast on a breakaway, like that'll make pretty much any kid excited, right? And that's I remember asking my dad, I was like, oh, Dad, this guy he's so fast. What's his name? And then Dad said, he's Pavel Bure, the Russian Rocket. I was like, really, a rocket? And then, but for sure, like for me, I'm thinking like a real rocket, but no, it means like he's just really fast, right? So I remember my dad to explain that to me. But yeah, I didn't get to see too much of Bure because I think a couple years and then he was gone. From what I remember, because I didn't follow it as much. I'd only watch the games when my dad says that we were playing. So I, didn't know. But Bure got me excited, and I think I have a Bure jersey on right now. So, yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, you're rocking the Bure jersey. Jordan's rocking the Kirk McLean jersey. And so, Jordan, tell me about what about Pavel Bure that you just loved and that was your guy?
There was no more exciting player that Canucks had ever had. I became a Canucks fan when I was about 2 or 3. It was before Bure was around. Not really a fan, but a fan. But my uncles, my relatives were all into the Canucks, and I knew that Vancouver had a hockey team, and I loved hockey ever since I was a small child. But it wasn't until Bure came along where I really got interested and I think a lot of people can say that. He was the one who catapulted from a casual fan to a diehard fan because we had a superstar finally. The Canucks had never had that, and all we would hear about is this guy who could skate like the wind and excite you and get your ass out of your seat. Okay, that's what he did, and there's just been no one more exciting. That guy, he takes the puck, and we have to remember, guys, he was doing this at a time where it was clutch and grab, and the physicality of the game was at its peak at the time.
Well, 2 line passes were a thing back then.
Yeah, and he was accomplishing the things that he was doing at the era. Unbelievable. So that I love my other Canucks. I have other all times as well. Marcus Nadson's one of them. The Sedins, Linden, all those guys. I love them to death, but Bure beats them all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's the thing. So who's your current favorite? I know you're not going to say Desharnais, but who's the guy that's your current favorite Canuck?
I'll give you a hint. It's not in the lineup tonight.
Oh, is it actually him? Oh my God! Wait, okay.
Oh my God, you're talking. No, I'm not talking about. I like Pedersen. I'm not talking about Pedersen. I'm talking about Hughes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were thinking about Branson. This guy's such a Branson. I thought he was going to talk about him.
No, it's got to be Hughes. Like this guy is just unbelievable out there. Like this magician out there. Anytime he's out of blue line, you think he's going to get checked. He's not. He's going to spin out of something, or he's just going to walk the line. It's crazy, right? So the stuff that he can do, like how many other people can really do it, like on the planet right now? It's not many.
The guy's an absolute magician. The kid is an absolute magician out there. Yeah, it's crazy.
And
my uncles are calling me. I don't know if it. So you're asking. The question is, who's my favorite current Canuck player?
That's correct.
It's tough right now. I think it's still Brock. I think still for me it's Brock.
Brock Besser?
He's such Brock's rookie season, dude. I had gotten not excited for a player for a long time. I normally would say Petey, but he's Petey right now, and I can't say Petey. But Brock, he's been consistent. Scored 40 goals last year. What a beast in the playoffs last year! Holy cow! And you know what? He's shown that he's a playoff performer, even against the series against
absolutely
in the bubble. He was the one stepping up, right? Along with Miller, along with Pedersen, but he was still scoring goals. He hasn't shown that he buckles to the pressure. And we talk a lot about his new contract coming up next year. So is he going to be worth the money that he's going to be asking? But yes, that rookie's year that he came in, sniping those shots in the power play, sniping those corners. And he doesn't score like that as much anymore, but he's found other ways to make himself effective and get 40 goals. And he's on pace to scoring 35 to another 40 this year. Hopefully he does it again, but the hope's too high.
I think he leads the league with 54% goal success rate for scoring within 10 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Read that today. Apparently.
Holy cow.
Get him in there.
Yes, exactly.
Well, as you guys know, I'm a big JT Miller fan.
Oh, yes, we can
I feel like I'm a broken record because I love how he plays playoff hockey in preseason, regular season, and postseason.
Yeah.
But I do miss Zadorov a lot. So I feel like I've had enough counseling sessions that I've been over and my grief is over. But I love hitting. I think that's another reason why I love JT Miller.
Yes.
I love how he's gritty. He hits. He leads by example. He's not afraid to say something to the team, and he's got high expectations for himself. And I love how he's effective out there. I know he's struggling this year, but I just love watching him. He's the kind of guy that I love. That's the type of player I love to watch. So,
Trev, there's a question I wanted to ask you. Seeing as all this PD and Miller BS that's going on in the media right now, okay, we know it's there, right? And there's all this trade talk. What would you think if they traded Miller?
It all comes down to return.
Yes.
So, personally, I'd be upset. But also, as a fan, my biggest concern is I want to win a Stanley Cup. So if that means Miller's gone in order for us to do that, I'm okay with it. If it means that we're going to move him and we're going to get hosed in a deal and we get worse or we don't win a cup, then I'm going to be really upset. But I'm okay with it. I just did my video today about should Vancouver trade him. And that was a hard one for me to make.
Sure it was.
If you haven't watched this, guys, go check this out. Should Vancouver trade JT? I talk about the scenario with the Rangers. There are a couple scenarios with the Rangers. If we got, I think he would have already been traded if we got back the players that Vancouver wants, but the Rangers keep offering guys that we are not sold on. namely Zibanejad.
Yeah.
The Canucks don't want. So that is the thing. I would rather keep Miller than have Zibanejad. They're the same age,
Definitely.
Similar cap space. I want JT Miller on the team. I think he's better. But that's a long answer to say I would be okay with it, depending who we got back.
Of course, the return would have to be substantial.
Yeah, and I'm not buying jerseys anymore of players that don't sign long-term deals in Vancouver. I was ready to buy a Zadorov jersey. I was waiting for him to sign on the dotted line. And when that didn't happen, I didn't end up going and doing that. So I went and got the Miller jersey.
Nice.
Even if he gets traded, I'm still happy because I've seen him live a number of times, but he scored game 5 against the Oilers. I was there in the building, and that will be a special moment for my fandom for the rest of my life. And I'll always be proud to wear a JT Miller jersey. So that's a long answer to say I love having him on our team, and he's fantastic. And so I know a lot of people are pretty negative about him right now, and even tonight, even in our chat, it's like, guys, come on. We are literally surviving here. Like, we are missing key players. We're missing our top 2 defensemen. Take the top 2 defensemen off of any team and tell me how they play. Then take one of their second best center. Some people would argue the best center, but take them off the team now too. And then you know what I mean? Like, I don't think people understand how difficult it is to win in a league of parity. And then you take away your top players. And now I understand that there's I'm going on a rant. Sorry.
It's all good. It's your show.
There's injuries, right? There's injuries on every team. Everyone has to overcome them. But name me another team that has had these kind of injuries. Maybe Colorado, maybe. That's it. Well, and when Colorado didn't have those guys, they sucked.
Yep.
Right? So I'm just saying, I think people need to, like, I get it. We want to win, but come on.
Are that many people speaking negatively about Miller right now in the chat?
Yeah. There's some stuff. He sucked tonight. Blah, blah, blah.
I wouldn't say he's the major culprit tonight. I mean, like we said, he wasn't completely noticeable, but by no means is he the reason why we lost.
But at the end of the day, I think nothing is perfect. Right? We know our stuff, guys. Okay, we all know. No, anyways, Big Mac says, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," here, and So yeah, Mike's a fan of the Sedin brothers. Those guys were amazing. But
who's your favorite, Trev? Henrik or Daniel?
I don't think you can separate the two.
Oh, okay.
And I also think that my favorite line of the Twins is this.
Yes.
They asked Daniel, "How come you have more goals?" No, asked Hendrik, "How come your brother Daniel has more goals than you do? He consistently scored more goals than you do." And his answer was, "Well, if I had me passing to me, I'd have more goals too." So they were just two different players. Daniel was a shooter. Hendrik was the passer and the centerman. And so I like them both. I have a Hendrik Sedin jersey actually right here on the wall. So love him. Absolutely love him too. So yeah, like them both.
I love how they could riff off each other like that. Henrik would always have something to say. Like Daniel was always the nicer one. He would take less shots at Hank, but Hank would always be the one who was like, "Hey, I'm taking shots at Daniel."
Right. Yeah. No. So it was pretty fun.
It's
pretty fun. Jason saying power play 1 defenseman chaos draft. I know that's crazy. I feel like I'm having a heart attack watching this team right now. So I mean, think about that, guys. Kyler Myers is your number 1 power play defenseman. That is not good for a team. It's literally Hughes and Hronek, and those other guys don't get on power plays. So
I actually forgot Hronek's out.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Dude, they must not like Branstrom that much.
Yeah,
Myers on PP1. I'm telling you.
Well, Branstrom can't even crack the lineup right now.
Yes. So that's one thing we wanted to talk about today. Why is that happening?
Breeze was in for him.
Yeah. Why does Branstrom not crack the lineup?
It's a great question. It
is a head scratcher. Like, what are they doing? The numbers support that he's actually like Witt brings up these numbers, right? He brings up these percentages and stats about, about certain things, about positives and negatives about each player. And Brannstrom is up there in the positives for the defenseman. Why isn't he getting any time? I was saying to him today, it's probably his size, which is unfortunate. It seems to be maybe one of the reasons they have big guys like Myers and Desharnais, and they like the big guys.
It has to be, because skill-wise, he's solid.
Yes,
he's been way better than they were hoping, right?
Exactly. And we'll look at their captain is a smaller defenseman who can move the puck, but they just insist on using these big guys.
Well, what do you think of him tonight? Was he a chaos giraffe or was he regular Tyler Myers?
He wasn't awful. So there were a couple moments like, please don't do that. Please don't. Oh, no. But then there were other times I'm like, you know what? I felt like it was one of his better games.
Yes. And
there's been a lot of bad ones lately. Namely, last two overtimes have been, I was like, please get him off the ice. And then they throw on Susie or Desharnais, and it's like, okay, maybe we should put him back on. I don't know. So I'm okay with him tonight. I thought he was good enough. I was happy enough with his play. But nothing as perfect as Tyler Myers is his current favorite player. That is shocking. I think that Swervin Irvin, Cody Hodgson's one might be an even better one. Canuck Tony, I think he's trying to troll us tonight. He's trying to troll us. So maybe not. Maybe that's not. Canuck Tony says it's Kiefer Sherwood for him. But Dan, the man, he's coming in and saying Paul Reinhart was the best Canuck.
Wow, that's a callback.
That is a long time ago.
That's a callback for sure.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about Myers, though, Trev? Yes, we have been, believe me, we have been shitting on Myers a lot. Okay. And, but today I did notice he's out there in the power play and he was trying to make something happen. We were watching it, I was saying to Whit, he is trying to make up for the last couple of games. I saw some fire in that player today that I had not seen in, right. You're right. Every time he gets the puck, I'm like, oh shit.
What chaos is going to happen?
What's going to happen? Like, he still like flicks the puck wildly somewhere randomly, right? You just can't. But I saw in that last bit of the game, they had him out there. He was trying to beat Quinn Hughes, carrying the puck, carrying the play, quarterbacking the power play. He got some shots off. They didn't go through, but
Did you see him after? Myers, he did a crisscross on the power play after he made a pass. He moved to a different spot so that there could be a couple different looks. Oh, Myers
he was moving. Do that. He was looking more mobile than I have seen him almost ever playing as a Canuck.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
I know. Yeah. It's wild to think about. I'm sure there's been people we have so many comments. It's wild in here. But a lot of people are just talking about players they love currently. And Mike, I believe, is an Oilers fan, but very respectful. Love having him here. Nice. He says Zadorov was a machine against the Oilers. Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
We fell in love with him before that, but that made us next thing. Kellum, this just in, we didn't win. It says 3-0, but we got 2 empty netters scored on us. Yeah. It was a very entertaining game. We got out goalied. If you didn't see the game. Nothing is Perfect said that he thinks Brisebois played well tonight. He is better than Brannstrom at boxing out in front of the net. Okay, that's fine. And Tocchet likes big defensemen. Do you guys know how big Brisebois is? Is any indication on that? I don't know.
I don't know. When I was seeing him on the screen today, I was like, Brisebois a big boy. That's why he's in the lineup. Yeah. He's not a small guy.
And he needs an opportunity, right, to showcase what he can do. He's played really well in the AHL, that kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of sitting there going, I get the thing, but it's hard when Brannstrom's out because you're missing your puck moving guys, your quick guys, and so that was kind of strange because if you look at Brisebois, he's 6'2", 175, but Brannstrom's 5'10", 185. So it's like he's taller, but he's not bigger. You know what I mean? That's surprising. And so they love the defensemen that are over 200. Desharnais 226, Forbert's 216, Juleson's 201. Myers is 229. Susie's 208. So that would be why those guys are out there.
Do you think it's Tocchet that likes the big guys, or is it the defensive coaching staff that wants the big guys back there?
Like Foot?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it still
Foot, like what was Foot's size and stuff when he played? Like I think he's got to be over 200.
Yeah, he's guys back then who were playing their prime in the 90s. Yeah, they were big dudes.
Was he like 6'4" or 6'2"? No,
I don't know what he was, but he was he wasn't small.
And he was a punishing player.
So they're really trying to make, the whole big guy defenseman system work because they believe that's the way to go, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys got me there. 6'2", 226 pounds of pure muscle.
Pure muscle.
Holy cow.
That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so this comment came in. Myers had said himself Hughes is their best player. What is Myers to do? Tocchet asked him to step up, and he's doing his best. You know what? Yeah. That's a great point. That is a great point.
Yeah, we saw it today.
He is playing more minutes than he's used to. He's been asked to do more things than he's used to. But what I liked about tonight's game, he stayed within his strengths, and so I was happy with that. So
absolutely.
Callum said he fell asleep in the game. How did you fall asleep? It was such an entertaining game. Callum, this is your kind of game. You love Kiefer Sherwood. He was out there like seek and destroy, man. So anyways, 51 hits, Callum. Wake up, brother. Okay.
Yeah.
So
51
but Dreamer says Myers isn't the only one. I feel like the others are trying to pull off Hughes moves. Yeah, I mean, he can't be. Coach talked to us, the fans and the media, saying, I'm not asking them to replace Hughes. I'm just asking them that they're going to play more minutes and they need to play in their strengths. I think that's a really great comment by our coach.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. That makes sense. As a coach, that's what you would want.
Yes. Yeah. It's a little testy in the chat here, guys, tonight. I think you guys are a little salty that we lost. We lost in a back-to-back and we're trying to survive. So I don't know. I mean, we lost 1-0. So anyways, Roberto, what we lack badly is another center, veteran center, as well as another D-man badly. Okay, so let's talk about that because I actually don't think that's a bad idea. I think, well, first of all, we're missing Pettersson. That's our other centerman. Yep. But so we had Bluger and Assassin and Miller. So who's the guy I'm missing here from tonight?
What were the centers tonight?
Oh,
was it Suter tonight? Was it Suter? Did Suter have to play center tonight because there weren't enough centers?
Oh, it's Sasson. We had Sasson?
Yeah, I think Miller? It was Suter. It was right? Suter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Suter. Suter, Sasson, Miller, and Teddy Bluger. Yeah, so that is thin down the center line too. I mean, they're solid. They're solid, but they're not exceptional offensively. I would say defensively, Bluger's incredible.
Yeah,
can hold his own, can win faceoffs. Suter, I think Suter's a better centerman than he is a winger, in my opinion, anyways. But Sasson is solid, but he's an AHL guy trying to become a regular NHL guy. So
yeah, 100%. And we have to remember, Petey's out right now, and he's going to be back soon.
Yeah, and Swervin Mervin says that Breezewell had some very ill-advised pinches tonight, though, and you're going to get that with these guys. They're trying to make a name for themselves, so. Blazer fan says his favorite Canucks is always going to be Luongo and Ehrhoff. Don't care what anyone says. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, man. That's your favorite guy. Go for it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I love Johan Hedberg. He's one of my favorites. So
I like this. I like Blazer fans' comment right here.
Yes,
like we totally fleeced San Jose when we got Ehrhoff. Like, who the heck was that? Patrick White or something? Was our first rounder? Who is that guy?
Yeah. Then he got greedy and went to Buffalo.
Yeah, and so in the chat, they're talking about Hughes and Pettersson are supposed to be back for the road trip coming up. So that's exciting news. That's big news.
That's big news.
But I just heard today that Hronek's not back until February. So that's a long time being out. And then how does he return after being out that well? Does he just come back? I mean, he's probably going to be careful on that injury. So
it's going to take a few games for him to get back acclimatized.
Shoulder, right?
Yeah. Nothingness Perkins says all the above. The whole organization like big defensemen, and in the playoffs, it sure helps. If we can make the playoffs, I understand what we're trying to do, but getting there is the key. So
Yes.
The other one that Blazer fan loves to talk about, and I do too, is DPD. He is a big, tall defenseman, and they don't give the guy a look. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a look. It might be the fact where they're like, we want to just develop him in the AHL. But I'm looking forward to seeing him play because he is a hitter. And I think he's a smart player. I think he's going to be part of our future. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. He did get called up.
Right?
We'd love to see him. I mean, obviously the big guys who are on the lineup right now are getting all the time. But yeah, I'm excited to see another guy, a young guy. Maybe why in some of these with Quinn Hughes out, why isn't he getting a look?
Yeah. Okay, so people first. UConn says should Tocchet get fired. What do you guys think about Rick Tocchet and his ability to coach? You think he should get fired, boys?
Ooh. I think it's still a little early for that. I think any team going through these exact type of injuries, you're to expect 50-50 record, which is kind of what we're going through now. It's to be expected. When we have all our players back and we, suck for a while, then I think you can think about it. But right now, I don't think it should count. Yeah.
So why are we firing him? What has he not done so far? Is it because we're not winning?
I think it's the
our
record.
record is 50-50. It's 500 right now.
I think, are we in the playoff spot right now?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, we're probably on the bubble. Sure,
Yes,
we're
the
not on
last
the playoff
spot.
spot. Okay, but think about this, right?
Yeah.
Who guy's a Jack Adams Award winner? You're gonna fire a Jack Adams Award winner when you're on the playoff bubble,
Like
halfway
a year
through the
after.
season, a year after. Like I understand some people might be impatient and they need to be winning right now, but hey, this is a team that's Hughes and Petey are out. You're blaming the coach right now?
PD and Hronek.
Yeah, and Hronek. Like, what? There's a lot of obstacles right now that he has to overcome.
Dude, that's like $26 million on the injured list right now.
The coach is the least of our problems right now, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to break it to you.
I understand why people are asking the question because I do not think that Tocchet has coached well this year. He refuses to take timeouts. But what you're saying is 1,000% correct. How in the world, he has not changed his coaching style. You don't win a Jack Adams Award because you're a bad coach. 100%. So the idea that we'd fire him, we're literally in a playoff spot. Playoffs start today. We're in the playoffs. So he's like, hey, you made the playoffs with all these injuries. You suck. Let's just fire you. It's like that just doesn't, it's not logical. Now, I think that we need to understand this is where our fandom gets in. And this is why these other guys get paid the big bucks because they don't go up and down in their emotions like we do. Tocchet, you're right, he's not the least of our worries, but there is something off about Tocchet this year. And I'm wondering if he's just getting annoyed with all the inside stuff that's happening. There's a lot going on in Vancouver land. So
100%.
But if we fired Tocchet, the question is, who do you replace him with?
Exactly. And how could he be prepared for such BS this year? Like all this being thrown at you, left, right, and center, and you have locker room drama that you have to deal with and you have to answer for too. Holy cow!
Well, didn't he get annoyed earlier this year, even before both the injuries or before PD got injured? Then somebody say like, "Oh, how do you think PD did tonight?" And then he'd be like, "Oh, every night, PD." Right? Like he's gotten annoyed before this even blew up.
Speaking of annoyed, Roberto's here. He says, honestly, I like Miller, but the media is too much here in Vancouver. Would trade Miller ASAP. He hasn't scored in 4 to 5 games. Okay, let's just Roberto.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Okay, just relax. Okay, maybe get some water.
You guys just like poking the bear. I think that's what it is, man.
But I don't understand what you're expecting here. He literally had an assist on the game-winning goal last game. He also scored the game-winning goal that doesn't count in shootout. I if it wasn't for Miller, we don't win last game. You know what I mean? So nobody scored for us tonight. So I understand, on the score sheet, we're looking and seeing this, but I don't understand. I understand Miller, the media, he signed here for 8 years for a reason. He understands the market. He wants to play in a market that cares because he cares. Is he got to be the most lovable guy on the Canucks? No, he doesn't have to be. And I don't need him to be that. So I'm a little surprised that you would trade Miller ASAP. I think that would be something where I'd be like, it needs to be a great deal for me. But what do you guys think? Am I wrong about that?
I'm 100% with you, Trev. I'm going to say Miller is, if the rumors are true about this whole PD versus Miller thing, I don't blame a guy who has passion and shows that he wants to win. And if you're going to rag on a guy because he's not pulling his weight, you're in the professional league, man. Okay.
Excuse me.
Like, this guy is your heart and freaking soul. Like, there's no one who cares more about winning than JT Miller on this team. That is abundantly clear. Okay. And for a guy to take a leave of absence, okay, to take a leave of absence for the betterment of the team, because potentially that you are maybe a problem in the locker room, that speaks volumes about leadership. Okay. He's taking himself away from the game for apparently the betterment of the team. I don't think there's anyone. Okay, people can fault him for, oh yeah, he abandoned the team for a little bit. Obviously, his character, his personality is something, it's probably intense. It's probably a lot for some guys to handle, but you're in the NHL, guys. Suck it the hell out. If you have a guy who wants to win and you're not coming and you're not performing to his expectations, well, you know what? At the same time, yes, he better be scoring too. He better be putting up the numbers, but he has in the past for this team. He has the numbers to back it up. So he can be hard on you. Okay, so that's my take on it. You don't trade this guy. If they end up trading Miller in favor of PD, dude, PD just needs to be he needs to suck it up. He's making the most amount of money on the team. There is no excuse for him to be taking almost basically a whole season off and not producing. And
right.
for him to have JT Miller on his ass every day, come on, bro. Let's get it going. So no, I mean, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I think Miller is like one of those things. Like, if you think about work and you have like those higher up positions, you get it to a higher level. The question always is like, oh, what do you think of this person? Well, people aren't there to make friends. That's the first thing, right? And second thing is they might even say, I don't like this person, but I respect them for the work that they do. And I think that's Miller, right? That's totally Miller.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to like the guy for whatever reason. Everyone's entitled to who you like or don't like. You pick, right? That's what being a fan is. But, like he cares, and I rather have someone that cares and has passion and speaks up than have someone that doesn't.
100%. You can't not respect a guy who just cares about winning and getting stuff done.
Absolutely. I love what David W. says here. Players go through streaks and slumps. That said, it can be legit to be concerned about a player in a scoring slump who's a defensive liability. And you know what? That's a great point, David. There have been times where Miller has been a defensive liability. I do think he needs to play better. Even though I like him, he's my favorite player. I don't think he's having a great season this year. I do think he's walking through an injury. There's a lot of things going on, but he needs to play better, and he would say that himself as well. So
100%.
I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. If he wants to keep other people responsible, he needs to put the own pressure on himself as well.
100%.
The other thing too is sometimes it's nice having those guys in the locker room that when the coaches leave, then those guys speak up and go, "Hey, let's go, boys." I mean, McDavid was pretty vocal in the playoffs in that Prime video there where they followed him. And you know what? It's just you need guys in the room that just say they are diehards. They want to win. There's something about it that's really important. So Mike says that bottom line is all these players have to grow up, leave the days of our lives BS at home.
100%.
I think you're
100%.
right. It's just harder said than done, right?
Absolutely.
They're human, but we don't really care too much that they're human. and we do need to, like, the whole point is like we need to care, because like when Besser, everyone wanted to trade Besser, but his dad was literally dying. And I love that the Canucks stuck with him.
Yes, me too.
Through it. You know what I mean? It said something about our organization, and winning matters. Don't get me wrong. Production matters, but there's times where you guys got to say, you know what? We want to support the individual as well. And you'll see the fruit of that. We saw it. He came back and scored 40 goals. He's one of our best players. He might even have awarded himself another contract. So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to be human. They're not robots, but yeah.
I'll just say this: I would love to be a human that's making millions of dollars to play hockey right now.
Well, there's pressure, right? Like, so in your field of work, if you made millions and you didn't produce, they would be mad at you. You might lose your job, right? So
100%.
So that's a thing. So
yeah.
Okay. Swervin Mervin says you can't do age over beauty, because look at we didn't keep Toffoli and we have prioritized Virtanen. That is exactly what we did there. That is haunting us to this day. Toffoli.
Yes, it's true.
Virtanen was still on the team when Toffoli. Okay, yeah.
We lost three of our guys in one shot there, and Toffoli was one of them.
That's a Jim Benning. We call that pulling a Jim Benning.
Okay. But Jim drafted to Virtanen, right? So that was one of the things. Hindsight 2020, one of the worst moves we did, for sure. Big Mac says, I don't know, Big Mac, are you actually yelling, or are you just doing emphasis here? We all care. I don't think any of us have any real say or leeway. That's true. I wish they would watch my videos. When it comes to all of this, I love all of our takes, but we have to have a level head at all times. We can't give up. Yeah, I think that's a good comment. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like we can have our emotions high, low, or whatever it is, but you know, if we believe in this team, no matter what, we always believe right till the end that they're either gonna, you know, make playoffs or win a game 7, something like that. We always have hope, right? Even though we got crushed when we were down 3-0 and then we made it 3-2, we still held on to hope, right? And it was good. It was a good feeling to make that game entertaining, right? Totally. I know we didn't win, but I'm just saying, like, even in times that you lose, you still have to have hope and be ready for later.
Yeah, we're all Hughes fans here, but Blazer fans said goals dried up because Hughes ain't there. Hughes has 34 assists with 42 points. That is the majority of our assists. He is our quarterback on the back end, and it's huge why we ain't scoring. And that is why I am claiming he should be in the conversation for the Hart Trophy.
He has to be.
Definitely.
He has to be.
Yeah, he's our Bobby Orr right now.
Like, crazy. I know a lot of people, every time I bring up this argument that he should have the Hart, I have all these Cale Makar fans coming at me, and I say, look, it's not like when other guys are not going well, is he the one carrying to the level of Quinn Hughes carrying right now?
Is Makar in the conversation for the Hart as well?
No. What I'm just trying to say is, like, every single time I bring up that Hughes should get us, like, for some reason someone would always throw a Makar in there and just say he's like straight up he's better.
Well, Hughes is clearly the most valuable player on his team right now. Clearly.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Like, okay, what's our record with on right now? Let's bring that up.
It's insane. It's insane. It's just clearly that we need to do that. But I think you guys are right. Like, when it comes to Makar, it's 1A, 1B, guys. Like, or it's like it's one. They're both amazing. They're amazing for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say anything negative about Makar.
Yeah.
I just think, like, when you're watching Quinn and what he has to do on a nightly basis, and let's be honest, Pettersson isn't McKinnon. You know what I mean? There's a McKinnon and a Renton in there that, listen, those guys are elite. Now, I think that JT Miller is an elite player, but he's not in the same class as those guys. When you go to the All-Star game, JT Miller's one of the last guys to get picked. Renton and McKinnon are getting picked early on. You know what I mean? And it's not that I think that they're like so much better, but they are noticeably better. There's a different kind of elite. It's a different kind of style.
Yeah.
And so when I'm looking at that, I'm going, we played to our style. I love how Talkit has us set up, but come on. Quinn Hughes is just clearly needed on this team. Yeah. And let's just go get his brothers and then we'll be fine, right?
We need him.
So yeah,
I just hope Quinn sticks around. I hope he doesn't go and join his brothers. That would be a travesty.
Absolutely.
But if we get them all here, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we've been on for so long tonight. We've been on an hour and 5 minutes. I've really enjoyed having you guys here. Yeah. What a blessing it is to have your 146 people came by, watched the stream tonight. What a blessing to have everyone here. And just give, again, someone asked in the chat, this is the last question for you guys. I haven't heard of you guys much. Why should we follow your channel?
Right. Got this.
Well, I think you should watch Canucks Uncensored if you are a passionate Canucks fan, okay? If you feel very strongly about certain things and you can't and you don't like to hear another side, maybe you probably don't watch us, okay? Because we are just going to talk. We're just going to say what we feel about what's going on with the team. If you don't like it, turn us off, all right? But we're not going to turn off. We're not going to not say certain things because we're afraid that it's going to offend it or make someone upset or anything. We're just giving you our genuine, raw emotions about what's going on with the team. We're reacting sometimes most of the time in real time to what's happening. This is how our candid feelings about the team is coming out from the screen. So if you're a passionate Canucks fan, you love to see other people's passions and passions about the team, yeah, join us. We would love to have you. And hey, if you want to voice your opinion, we welcome everyone and everyone's opinion.
Yeah.
Whit here, he's someone who when he watches the game, he's very analytical. He's has a lot to say about the team, a lot to say about different stats. He will pull out different stats that I've never even thought to think about, but it makes the game fun. It makes the game fun to watch, especially with him. And we just want to be a couple of guys that are fun to watch the Canucks with.
Yeah, I think Jordan said most of what I wanted to say, but whenever you watch Canucks, someone just wants to hear something, an opinion, and we're going to give you those opinions, those raw, unfiltered thoughts. We're going to tell you if somebody's doing well, if somebody's not doing well. We will say everything. We're going to be fair and unbiased. We're really going to say what we need to say, right? We rip on Desharnais, we rip on Myers, but when they do well, we don't rip on them. We say they do good things. We just say it as it is, and it doesn't matter if somebody has said something to us that may make us think otherwise. We will still say it no matter what. So we appreciate the culture and the community of Vancouver Canucks fans. And as far as we know, we have responded to every single message across every single platform. So please communicate with us. We'd rather you say something than to say nothing. Please voice your opinions. We're here to interact. That's why we're doing this. So we're a month in, just a little bit over a month. So we love doing this.
And just a heads up, guys, it is a grind. People have no idea how much work we put in behind the scenes.
We see you. We're working hard, Trev. So you're an inspiration to us, 100%. We see what you do each and every game, and we're like, damn, this guy. Okay, this is what this guy. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. We got to follow up with him.
Yeah. So it's what I like. It's not a competition. I'm cheering you guys on. I love that there's people subscribing right now to your channel.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
And I've subscribed early on. I comment on the videos and I watch a lot of their stuff. So I highly recommend it. Thanks so much, Whit and Jordan, for being here. You guys are stellar. Next time I'll have you on when we win. Yeah, so thanks so much. And everyone, thanks for being in the chat.
Can I give one quick shout out? One quick shout out. Japan 4, thank you so much for your support. When we wanted to do this podcast, you helped us out and then push us over the edge to finally be in front of a screen and speak. So thank you so much for your support and connecting us here.
Thank you, Japan 4. Really appreciate you, bud. And Trev, you too, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the spotlight today.
No problem. Wes, my buddy Wes asked, what's the best platform to follow you guys on?
Well, it's better. Whatever is your favorite. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and we're also on YouTube. Find us on X as well. We're not as active on X, but mostly on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. So any one of those, you can find us at Canucks.uncensored.
And if you are a person that listens to podcasts when you're driving,
Oh,
we are also on Spotify.
We're on Spotify as well. Yeah.
Okay, we're also on Spotify. It won't cut out. So
that's great. Okay. Well, thanks so much, guys. Thank you so much, chat. And we, no matter what happens, we cheer this team on. We're going all the way. No, I don't know. We're gonna try to be there. So thanks, everyone.
We'll try to be there before we die, at least.
Yeah. Cut before we die.
Absolutely.
And if they keep playing like this with Myers on power play, I might die really soon. Okay, heart attack central. I'm gonna have a jammer. Anyways. All right. Peace out and go Canucks go.
Go Canucks go.